Welcome to Firewood, fella. So the other day I was using the Buck-It Lite to buck up some smaller maple rounds here, and at the end of that video I was talking about how I think I have an idea of what I'm going to do with some of these rounds, because they're not great heating wood, but they'll be good campfire wood, just because they're starting to spalt out a little bit because they've been sitting on the ground for over a year now. But I got a buddy of mine who did me a solid when I moved into my house by installing my flooring, and he never charged me because he's gonna need some firewood at some point. The other day he called me, so now I owe him some wood, which is perfectly fine, which great time because I just finished bucking all these rounds up over here. So these rounds are fairly small, different sizes. I'm gonna double check to make sure the insides of some of the bigger ones are dry. But I know a lot of the smaller ones should be ready to go because I've already split and sold some of these about a month ago. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna split up some ash here, split up some maple, get over a face cord in the trailer, and go drop that off to his house here tonight. So this is all the maple that I split the other day, and all this slab wood of ash is extremely dry. So I don't know how good some of these bigger rounds are going to be or how wet they are, but I know a lot of these smaller ones where they're kind of spelt out a little bit, but they're cracked all the way to the center, a lot of them are. So a lot of this stuff is going to be perfect for what he's going to do, just burning outside for campfires. That took about 30 minutes to fill up the trailer. There's well more than a face cord in here. I don't think there's quite 2 face cords, because this is the same trailer that Chris has got. What he says is 2 face cords is to the top silver rails here, and we're not there yet, but it's definitely more than a face cord already, because I've already delivered a face cord in here, and this is way more than a face cord. And a lot of this stuff is just literally split in half. It's kind of starting to spalt a little bit, like I said, but it still looks really good. Just the end grain has got some discoloration a little bit, but we did mix in some slab wood of ash throughout here as well. So my buddy's just going to use this for campfire wood, so this will be a good load for him, and this should keep him going for at least another year or so until I got to deliver him another load, because 1 face cord of firewood does not equivalent to the job of putting in flooring that he'd spent a whole day, 8 hours putting in flooring for about 400 to 500 square feet. And there's a lot more to it than just installing the flooring. So definitely going to pay him back for using firewood, and I'm hoping I can get him to do some flooring in my house again here in the near future when I want to do my kitchen again. So I'm going to keep him happy, because bartering is it's a nice system. this won't even hurt me at all to get rid of this for free, because I got my flooring put in for it. So it was a good trade-off. Firewood fella, logging off.